Hey guys, good morning and happy election day. So today is obviously general election day and we have been told by so many quarters that we have to vote. Whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Twitter, they kind of have rammed home the message that if we don't vote then we're pretty bad people. So obviously I'm going to vote. That means that I kind of feel I'm comfortable making a certain choice. But I would say that people who don't vote or make the conscious decision not to vote, I don't think there's too much shame associated with that, especially if they've kind of thought about it. The reason I say that is because if you say people have to vote, it kind of implies that there is a sensible choice out there, or there's at least one sensible choice, which I don't think is something that you can say in this day and age. Some people may have genuinely sat down, thought about it, and come to the conclusion that they would rather abstain or not vote or spoil their ballot. Now, obviously, I'm acutely aware that people have fought for the right to vote, or especially for people of color like myself, and women. They've kind of had to struggle where other people have not. But nonetheless, if you see a choice, and out of the choices that you have, none of them seem like a pretty good deal, should you really be compelled to vote for it? And this whole idea that you don't have a right to complain because you didn't vote, I think is pretty concerning. Anyway, so let's talk about my seat. So the last few MPs, actually all the MPs for about 70 years have been Tory or Conservative, and actually the last 3 out of 5 MPs have been from Eton. So it is a pretty safe seat, and actually there were the kind of rumours going around that Boris Johnson might sit in this because this is a much safer Conservative seat than kind of Uxbridge's, where he is fighting. I think he is projected to win in kind of Uxbridge too, but let's see how it goes. So I'm at my polling booth. I probably won't film inside, but I'll let you know kind of how it goes. Hey guys, so I've just voted. My polling booth is there. I don't know if you can see it in the background. And it was pretty good. It's always good to kind of exercise your democratic rights and your democratic freedoms. Like I said, the result is pretty much guaranteed in this part of the world. But what I would say more impactfully is that in the last couple of months we've kind of stopped talking about Brexit, which is weird because for the last 3 years that's all we've kind of talked about. But after today's election, in which I think Boris Johnson is predicted to win, saving a really unlikely set of circumstances, it seems the case that he is going to go through with Brexit or some form of Brexit, and it will be kind of interesting to see how that goes. And it's interesting that although obviously you hear about it on the campaign trail, we're not talking about it with the same intensity that we were when there was the whole stalemate, the Parliament kind of blocking Boris Johnson's deals, Theresa May's deals. And now it seems like hopes for a second referendum have been kind of quashed, which would obviously make a lot of people happy, a lot of people unhappy. But I think that's the biggest repercussion. But thank you for joining me on kind of election day. It's always great to vote. Makes me feel good, makes me feel like a productive member of society. But let me know your thoughts on the election, and I've actually made a video which talks about why we constantly elect bad leaders, and I think it's pretty easy to kind of view leaders in their ivory towers as distant from us and kind of they have nothing to do with us. But I think a more interesting conversation is about how we are complicit in kind of the ills that we see in them, and we are almost reflecting their moral shortcomings and they are reflecting ours. So thank you for joining me on this very rainy, grey election day, and I hope you enjoyed it. See you.